Sadegh Hedayat. Who is Sadegh Hedayat? And what the hell does he have to do with opium? Well, sit back and enjoy the episode we're about to do, a deep dive. Sadegh Hedayat is one of the favorite modern writers of Iran in the 20th century. He wrote many short stories, allegories, and many translations, but most of his stories were very melancholic and depressing. My aunt was a devout Sadegh Hedayat fanatic, memorizing a lot of his work and having read a lot of his books. Sadegh Hedayat met a tragic end. He lost his life via suicide. And it's pretty crazy to be retelling the story because my dad thought it was a great idea to tell me this story when I was 7 years old as a bedtime story. I absolutely love my father to death, and I don't think he did the wrong thing here, but it's pretty funny to look back and imagine my father telling me the story right before I went to bed. Sadegh Hedayat. His magnum opus was the story of the blind owl. In Farsi, it's pronounced Bu Fekur. The short story is about an Iranian opium addict talking to an imaginary shadow on the wall about all of the bad things he's done in his life. Sadegh Hedayat, just like a lot of the other authors, gained most of his notoriety after he had passed away. Today, many will call him the father of modern Iranian writing. Many of his writings were also allegories, short stories secretly veiled, that were actually criticisms of the ruling power of the time, which was the Shah. After some time trying to reach his goals time and time again and failing, Sadegh Hedayat locked himself in his apartment in Paris, France. He made sure to stuff the bottoms of his doors and windows with cotton so that no air could escape. And once he did that, he turned on the gas and let it flow freely through the apartment. As the gas began to fill up his apartment, he made sure to tear apart all his current unreleased writings. 2 days later, his body was found by the police, with a note left behind for his friends and companions that read, "I left and broke your heart, that is all." He had died of self inflicted carbon monoxide poisoning. My aunt, who is a psychopath, inspired by Sadegh Hedayat, broke into my grandfather's safe and found a fistful size of opium. She decided that when she was 17 years old that it was time to meet her end. So she swallowed the entire ball of opium whole. My grandmother found her facing down in their bedroom. She immediately picked her up and took her to the hospital. Her eyes had rolled to the back of her head, and the doctors recognized that she was poisoned. So they got something ready to pump her stomach when out of nowhere she started vomiting violently. It was then that she plastered the entire floor of the operating table black. When the doctors smelled and saw the substance, they knew exactly what it was. Now you may be asking me, why is that someone who just ingested a massive lethal dose of opium is still alive? Well, let me tell you how poison works. Let's say you ingest a certain amount of poison, in this case opium. If you swallow a small amount, your body will absorb it and you're going to get high. In a few hours, it's going to wear off. If you take a massive amount like my aunt did, your body will immediately recognize the massive amount of foreign substance and throw it up right away. If what I'm saying kind of sounds ridiculous to you, I want you to think about alcohol. If you decide to chug an entire bottle of Jack Daniels right now, your body's most likely going to recognize the poison right away and throw up all of it within the next few minutes. You're most likely not going to get alcohol poisoning. Now, let's say you have half the bottle. Your body might just absorb all of that, and you might actually die of alcohol poisoning, or at least get alcohol poisoning. Now, if you really want to poison yourself to the point where you know you're not going to come back, you want to take just the right amount. Not too little, where it's not really going to affect you, and not too much, where your body's going to immediately reject it. In this case, luckily, my aunt was very naive and took a massive amount, so her body immediately rejected it, and this is why she is still alive today. So, as she lay there in the hospital bed, wondering how she was alive, my grandfather handed her a letter. My aunt took a good look at her father in shame, then opened the letter. She had just been accepted to the University of Seattle to study civil engineering on a full scholarship. Her suicidal frown has turned upside down into a smile. 1 month later, she would leave Iran forever, never to return again. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. Please do me a favor and give this episode a share on whatever social media platform you have available. Thank you once again for your amazing support. You guys motivate me every day. See you guys next episode.